Good Thursday morning, and thank you for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get right to your headlines. Today, people are getting ready, getting an early start, I should say, to the 4th of July weekend. With it being America's 250th Independence Day celebration, things are expected to be even busier. Megan McPherson has the very latest.
Good morning. Yeah, here at MSP, things are moving along just fine. Both security checkpoints, about a 5 to 10 minute wait. We have seen a steady stream of travelers coming through the airport here, and I have noticed a few cancellations, but other than that, it seems to be business as normal here. But overall, AAA does expect that this is going to be a record-breaking holiday weekend, and the TSA says that today is expected to be the busiest for air travel across the country, at airports across the country, though MSP officials say that usually Sunday is actually the busier day in comparison to today. Overall, 72 million Americans expected to travel this holiday weekend, roughly 5.1 of them in the upper Midwest. The vast majority of them in the upper Midwest will be hitting the road, though. That means drivers should prepare for heavy traffic across the state, and this afternoon is expected to be the busiest here in Minnesota. I-35 and I-94 are likely to see the biggest backups, so keep that in mind. Also, MSP airport officials, as I mentioned, expect this Sunday to be the busiest day, not today, so keep that in mind too if you have a returning flight. But know that whether you're driving or flying, it is going to cost you just a little bit more to get there this year. Gas prices in Minnesota are averaging about $3.64 a gallon, the highest 4th of July holiday prices that we have seen in 4 years, though that is still below the national average of $3.84. And if you are hitting the road, also keep in mind that the Minnesota State Patrol is going to have increased enforcement. I believe they started that yesterday, and that is going to continue through the holiday weekend. They do this every single year, adding more troopers, putting more troopers out on the roads to keep an eye out for things like drunk driving, and also making sure that people keep their seatbelts on. Speeding, of course, another factor too, so make sure to slow down and just keep that in mind as you head out to your destinations. Back to you.
Good advice there, Megan. Thank you. Right now, Minneapolis police and other public safety agencies are also preparing for the holiday weekend. They say there will be a zero tolerance policy for dangerous holiday activities. Audrey Russo has more.
Good morning. We've spent a lot of time over the last few days talking to different law enforcement agencies about their plans for the 4th. And the big takeaway is that no matter where you go in the city, law enforcement is going to be fairly visible this weekend.
Throwing an extra deputy or 2 or 10 on the water just to make sure people are safe.
The Minnesota DNR is going to keep an eye out for drunk boaters, as nearly half of all boating deaths in our state involve alcohol. In fact, 4 people have been killed this year in boating accidents. Now, in downtown Minneapolis, the goal is to avoid a repeat of 2024, where fireworks were fired off into a Dinkytown crowd. City leaders say police, fire, Metro Transit, and 911 are all staffing up and communicating early to stop unsafe behavior before it happens.
In addition, we get a lot of support from the Minneapolis Police Department's intelligence team. So we are getting that information that is monitored proactively.
Now, MPD says it's also going to close down certain roads, limit access to certain parks, all in the name of crowd management this weekend. Back to you.
Audrey, thank you. This morning, an Owatonna man is in custody after shooting at police officers. This began just before 8:30 last night when officers pulled the man over. They say the man became uncooperative, reached for a gun, and started shooting at officers. They say the driver took off and then stopped again. That's when police contained the area with State Patrol and SWAT, issuing a shelter in place, which is now lifted. They say just after midnight, the man shot himself. He was taken into custody and is in the hospital right now. No officers were hurt. Developing now, an investigation is underway in St. Paul after police found a woman and a boy dead. Police say it started with a welfare check at an apartment on Robert Street near Plato Boulevard. Police say homicide investigators are working to figure out how they died, but tell Kare 11 there's no threat to the public and they're not looking for any suspects. Also in St. Paul this morning, a pastor is in legal trouble after allegedly stabbing his girlfriend's ex last week. Charging documents say Terrence Walker was at his girlfriend's home when her ex-boyfriend showed up. Police say the two men got into an argument, with witnesses claiming Walker kept lunging and swinging at the other man. Officers found the ex-boyfriend bleeding from the mouth and stabbed in the stomach. Right now, he's fighting for his life in the hospital. Police arrested Walker at Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church, where he is listed as senior pastor. He's due back in court later on this month. Take a look at this video that's going viral on social media. Two people are facing multiple charges after spending about 30 minutes at the top of the Empire State Building, where one of them apparently used the stunt to propose. The moment caught many New Yorkers off guard, including a LaGuardia air traffic controller who asked an NYPD helicopter about all the commotion.
Yeah, what's all the hoopla going on over there?
Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the spire.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a little hot for that, isn't it?
It's just the beginning of this week.
A little New York sarcasm there. The couple later started their climb back down and were met by police, as you can see in this new body camera footage. Right now, we don't know how the duo got access to the antenna area, but an Empire State Building spokesperson called the incident unauthorized. Now, we're also learning one of the two climbers has an Instagram promoting the Netflix documentary titled Skywalkers, A Love Story. The program features daredevil influencers who risk their romance, freedom, and lives to climb a mega skyscraper. Around 150 Allina doctors at Unity and Mercy hospitals may soon hit the picket line. They announced they're overwhelmingly voting to authorize a strike. The union says it's been at 60 negotiation sessions over the last 2 years as they seek their first contract with the health system. The latest announcement does not mean the doctors will automatically strike. Leaders say they haven't picked a date yet, but they would have to give 10 days notice. They'll be back at the bargaining table on July 13th. Now, in a statement, Allina says it's disappointed in the decision, adding the union is seeking unsustainable economic demands. Allina also says it's committed to reaching a fair agreement. We're in for another day in the 90s, and this morning, one Roseville woman is stepping up to help people experiencing homelessness stay cool. Since Monday, Tanika Smith has been donating food, cold drinks, and cold towels at Pig's Eye Park in St. Paul. One person tells us it's nearly 90 degrees inside his tent, so these donations mean the world. Tanika has been helping the homeless for years, but with this heat, she says she knew they needed even more.
Seeing them puts a smile on my face because they're all Miss T, very welcoming, so I've built a good rapport with them.
Tanika also gets donations from community members. She says she just posts on Facebook about items they need, and people either ship or drop them off at her house. Really good stuff. Well, right now, 3 popular Minneapolis beaches are closed ahead of the holiday weekend. The city's park board closing the North Beach and 32nd Street Beach on Bidé-McCoska and the beach at Lake Hiawatha because of high E. coli levels. They say the recent heavy rain may have played a role in washing bacteria into the lakes. No illnesses have been reported so far, and they are not sure when they'll reopen. This morning, a law adding a mental health warning on social media sites is now on hold. It was supposed to go into effect yesterday, but is being delayed because of a lawsuit. The law Governor Tim Walz signed a year ago forces the warning to appear every time a user opens a social platform. But on April 29th, NetChoice, an industry group representing social media companies, filed a lawsuit against the state, saying it violates the First Amendment. But a local psychiatrist tells us enforcement of the law could start a process that needs to happen.
It's not just state by state, it's not just family by family. We're going to have some more government control, and also we're going to start to expect some of these social media companies to have responsibility, not just to offer a good product and an enticing product, but also a product that's safe, that's age appropriate.
Now, the state attorney general's office saying it's since filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit and would only start enforcing the law if that happens. Failure to comply could then result in a fine. Well, soccer fans rejoice. For the first time since 2002, the U.S. men's national team is advancing to the World Cup round of 16. They faced Bosnia last night in the round of 32. In the 45th minute, Flo Balogun scored the first goal for the U.S. But in the 82nd minute, the U.S. already down a player, losing Balogun after a controversial red card. Mark Tillman was able to add to the U.S.'s lead, securing their win over Bosnia 2-0. And the reaction here at home was priceless. Now, fans at the Minnesota United's watch party last night erupted with excitement over the win. The U.S. now moves on to play Belgium on Monday, but they're going to have to do it without Balogun, who has been suspended. Well, everyone, meet Kusi, the newest member of the Como Zoo. The two-toed sloth was born on May 6th, and staff and volunteers voted on the baby's name, which means joy. Zoo officials say the name is fitting since the baby has brought so much joy to them. You can see Kusi in the zoo's primate building. So cute. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.